Good morning, children. How you all? I welcome you all for the history class, chapter 3, India's internal challenges. Okay? I hope you all are enjoying your online classes. So, till now, we have completed two chapters of history and one chapter of political science. And many of them, they have showed me their notebooks also. Still, some are remaining. I hope you will show me very soon. So let us begin with the third chapter, India's internal challenges. Now, let us see the introduction part. In this chapter, we are going to learn about some internal challenges. What do you mean by challenges? What the see the spelling of internal challenges is wrong here, children. Just see that. So challenges means like what the problem a country is facing internally. It's not from other parts of the world. Within our country only we are facing some of the problems, challenges we are facing that can be that can block our development. Okay, so these are some internal challenges, like for example separatist movement. We have nationalism, communalism, regionalism. So this all these terms we are going to learn very briefly. Communalism means the fighting in the name of community, isn't that community? Like for example Hindu, Muslim. Regionalism means, what do you mean by regionalism? Regionalism means like for example um, like it can be like a region. It can be like Maharashtra, Gujarat, isn't that Haryana, Tamil Nadu. So regions, when the people they are fighting in the name of region, that is called as regionalism. Don't get confused with regionalism and religionism. Religionism means when there is a conflict in the name of religion. These are some of the internal challenges. Now let us study first about the unrest in Punjab. Akali Dal was the major political party in Punjab. So that time it was in 1977, 1973, Akali Dal passed the Anandpur Sahib resolution. And in this resolution, they have made some of the demands. So the demands were like Chandigarh should be part of Punjab. Before Chandigarh was included in Haryana, it should be part of Punjab. That was the first demand. Punjabi speaking parts in other state should be included in Punjab. So this was a second demand. Recruitment of people from Punjab in Indian army should be increased. Now, what do you mean by recruitment means more and more Punjab people, that the people, those who are speaking Punjabi, they should be taken, they should be getting job in the Indian army. That is called a recruitment. Okay, so that they should be more, they should be in Indian army. Then these all were the demands. Then what were the other demands? More autonomy should be given to the state of Punjab. Autonomy means more power. The state of Punjab should be getting more power in their hand. These were the resolution of Akali Dal, which came to power in 1977. And when they have passed the resolution in 1973, this all taken place after independence. While taking charge, they asked for a larger share of river water for Punjab, because Punjab used to share the river water to Haryana, other parts of the North India. So they said that largest share to be given to Punjab only. Holy city. Holy city status for Amritsar. Status for Amritsar. Do you know which place is there? We're talking about Golden Temple in Amritsar. So Amritsar should be called as Holy City along with their old demands. These all were the demands of Akali Dal. Then in 1980, the movement for independent Khalistan took root in Punjab. Khalistan means an independent nation, independent like a country or independent part they want. They don't want it to be a part of India that time. During that period, the leader of Akali Dal was Sant Harcharan Singh Longowal. So he was the leader and he used to direct his activists from the Golden Temple to protest. And they said that they have called as a Khalistan. They want a independent like a not state you called as, it's like a country only they want on the other side of Golden Temple. From there he started telling his people, those who are following him, to protest against the people, and followers started gathering around the staunch Khalistan supporters. So like the people started they started becoming the like a supporter of Khalistan. Sant Jarnail Singh Brindanwale, he was also one of the person, and very soon that period terrorist activities had begun. So this Khalistan, they started the war, or it's no, it can't be called as a war, it was a protest that they want a Khalistan, they want a Punjab to be called as a Khalistan, not the place has to be called as Khalistan. They wanted a separate like a individuality for Punjab. So Sant Jarnail Singh Brindanwale, and in 1981, very soon this movement started taking a place of terrorist movement, because many terrorist people, they started joining this movement of Khalistan. In 1981, he was arrested, who Brindanwale, because he was indulging in terrorist activities also. Accused of the murder of newspaper editor Lala Jagat Narayan. So Lala Jagat Narayan, who has published about him in the Marathi newspaper, he was murdered by Jarnail Singh. He was arrested. After this incident, the situation became worst. Due to this development, President rule was imposed in Punjab in 1983. So children, in the last chapter only we have studied about President rule. At the time of Indira Gandhi, when the Indian condition was not at all stable, so Indira Gandhi, she imposed president rule. Isn't that the same president rule? What is president rule? When there is no control was there on that government of Punjab, so the president started taking the control of Punjab. So that is why, and we have also seen that in the president rule, no power will be there in the hands of the state government. President will be the overall in charge. Now during the Indira Gandhi time, it was not only president rule, it was like, you can say about that, what was the rule? It was not the president rule that she has started, isn't that? So this was the thing we have seen. Due to this development, in 1983, president rule was imposed in Punjab. Brindanwale went to stay at a religious place called Akal Takht. So when he was arrested, he ran away and he started staying at the religion place called Akal Takht, and he started indulging in the terrorist activities also. His followers captured the Golden Temple, which is situated in Amritsar. So he captured that, isn't that? Now, children, don't get confused with the time of emergency and president rule. Indira Gandhi imposed emergency, the time of emergency. It is totally different from president rule. Okay, don't get confused, children. And build a barricade. Who built a barricade? His followers. Area looked like a fort because they greatly disturbed the peace in Punjab. They were not allowing other common people to enter there, and like a unrest situation was there. It was a major challenge to the Indian democracy during that time, and as a result only, the Operation Blue Star started against this situation. The main task of getting the terrorists out of the Golden Temple, and that operation is called as Operation Blue Star, which was entrusted to Major General Kuldeep Singh Brar. So he was in charge of that. On 3rd June 1984, this activity of mission Operation Blue Star started, and it's ended on 6th June. In this military operation, the Indian Army functioned with great restraint. They could able to kill all the terrorists, those who were taking shelter in the Golden Temple, and with the death of Bhindranwale and other terrorists, means they have died in that encounter only with the police. In 1986, an operation had to be conducted against terrorists. So like you can see that in so many years it was totally unrest situation was there in Punjab, and it was called as Operation Black Thunder, that is 1986. After this action was taken, the process of establishment of peace in Punjab picked up momentum. So like this, it was after that time it started coming to a normal place. Got it, children? So that we have seen that the unrest situation that was going on in Punjab. So like the main thing is that Operation Blue Star and Operation Black Thunder. That was the main internal challenges that India was facing, and that too in Punjab. Got it? And children, as we have already studied, I have already given you that in every chapter we have do you know and all that, so that you don't have to do it. Okay, so that we are not going to discuss that do you know. Okay, now the next topic is issues concerning Northeast India. The Northeast India, you know that Northeast India consists of so many 8 states. How many states are there? 8 states. Northeast India consists of 8 states. Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim and Tripura. So these all were called as 8 sisters or 8 Northeast states. International borders of India touch each of the state to verify extent. So international borders are there, like it can be Nepal, it can be the Bhutan and all that. These states are different with respect to ethnicity, language, cultural diversity. Totally they are different, isn't that? Their language, their cuisine. The first Prime Minister of independent India took the lead in bringing the tribe living in this area into the mainstream of the country. Generally, this country, people, those who used to live, they are in the like a tribal regions where they're Northeast states, tribal regions. So, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru has taken that much of effort to bring this tribal areas under to the mainstream of India because it is too far. Isn't that? In 1954, he formed the Northeast Frontier Agency area, that is NEFA, Northeast Frontier Agency, comprising of territories on the Sino-Indian border. What do you mean by Sino? Means India-China border. Sino means India-China border. the tribal areas toward the north of Assam. So you can see in these pictures, children, that people, those who were there, mainly they were like a tribal regions were there. Nehru took the position of bringing about the development of hundred of tribal areas where there. Doesn't mean the people, those who live there, they all are tribals. But area, generally that areas were generally more tribal were there. So he could able to bring them to the common, like in other parts of country. In these parts, while preserving their culture also, not only he has uh, taken considered about their culture, their language. We should respect their culture and all that, but also they should be given equal status at how other parts of our country is also enjoying. Special provisions have been made with respect to these areas. You could see that how their dwellings, their places, their way of clothing, food and all that. In the sixth schedule of Indian Constitution, they have made the provisions of like securing this northeast areas. In 1965, the responsibility of administering these areas was given to Ministry of External Affairs. Northeastern Council Act of 1971 means the northeast a country, state should be taken care of under this council to advise the central government regarding aspects of common interest. In economic and social sphere, interstate transport, electricity, food control, all that started through these states. This states also was given equal. And what is the importance? What is the importance of this NEFA, Northeast Frontier Agency? That they also should be given equal status and how other parts of our country is enjoying, because it is too far. This all states are too far. Now in our next chapter, children, in next period, sorry, we are going to discuss about all these states, what all the problem they were facing, what all the internal challenges they were facing, and how India, or how we were able to solve this problem. So that we are going to see, like Mizoram, Nagaland, Assam, Arunachal Pradesh and all that, and other internal challenges like nationalism, communalism, regionalism, all that. Okay, so I hope you understood, and take care and read the chapter. Okay, bye.